Tonight, major concerns for Lake Erie's shoreline as Coast Guard stations in Ashtabula and Fairport face staffing challenges. Isabel Lawrence reports on the changes we can expect and how the communities impacted are reacting.
Now, the Coast Guard Station Ashtabula sits empty, only staffed in the summer using personnel from Station Fairport. But this spring, it won't be staffed at all.
We can reallocate some of those personnel to those other stations to make sure that we're properly manning as many of these stations as possible.
Like many industries, the Coast Guard needs more personnel.
Coast Guard wide, we're about 10% short of where we really want to be for personnel.
So Station Ashtabula is transitioning to what the Coast Guard is calling a forward operating location.
It's not really going to be manned, but we're going to be doing patrols in that area with the crews from Station Erie and Station Cleveland Harbor.
Especially during peak times. The Coast Guard assuring the public that between Cleveland and Erie and air support from Michigan, boaters will be safe.
I understand where the Coast Guard's coming from, and we sympathize with them on the staffing issue. However, we've got a population to protect.
But the manager of the city of Ashtabula has concerns about response times and what happens when crews from Erie and Cleveland are needed elsewhere.
Right now, when they're not in quarters and we have an incident, it's a full recall of our fire department. So, we're paying the overtime and having to deal with that. Plus, I'm putting my personnel in a position that they're not used to being in.
The manager of the city of Ashtabula emphasizing the positive relationship they've had with the Coast Guard and the desire to keep their station manned. Safety on the forefront of everyone's minds.
We wouldn't be doing this if we didn't feel like we were able to still do that mission of keeping the boating public safe.
Well, Senator Sherrod Brown wrote a letter to the Coast Guard and Department of Homeland Security urging Station Ashtabula stay open and shared the following statement with 3 News. Quote, "The Coast Guard's Ashtabula Harbor Station is critical to keeping boaters safe on Lake Erie and keeping our maritime border safe. Closing the station and reducing staffing leaves our lakefront communities and entire state vulnerable. We can't let that happen. I'll keep fighting to keep the station open," end quote.
All right, Isabel, thank you so much. We'll know you stay on top of this story.